Hi. I'm gonna start in English right away, and it feels weird a little bit because I think I've been talking in English. Hi. I've been talking in English here on my Instagram maybe like once. But since I came here to France, I've mostly spoken in English, so I guess it's time to speak English with you too. And I'm gonna be honest, I need you to believe that I'm good at what I'm doing. And when I create my materials, I try to use some fancy language, and I need you to know that I have this fancy language. Hey. And next week, it's gonna be a week of a speaking chat when we are gonna talk in English, and I want you all guys to know that I can speak English, that I'm good at it, and you can join me. So, yeah, hi. I don't speak French, which is a pity, of course. I used to study French when I was at the university, but first of all, that was 6 years ago. And second of all, I wasn't good at French even then. We weren't very lucky. Our teacher went on a maternity leave, and then they couldn't find any other teachers and all on that. And then it's just... So I wasn't speaking French even then. And after that, I forgot everything I knew. And now I only have... a Duolingo on my phone. It's 250 something days, so I know some of the words. I know many common words. I know some like prepositions and stuff, and then I just guess what people are saying, because a lot of it is kind of similar to English. So in many cases, especially if it's a familiar situation, I can probably guess what they were saying. I can't answer, so I just say okay, yeah, bien, and that's all. But I do understand quite a lot. Yeah, and as for the question, why are you here? I guess you were asking like if I don't speak French, why did I choose France? And if that's the question, then well, it just happened that way. I wasn't planning on going anywhere, and I wasn't planning on doing my master's or anything, which by the way I am doing. So I'm doing my master's in Nice, France right now, since September of this year. And yes, it wasn't the plan. And there is another live on my process of getting accepted, so you can watch that. But in a nutshell, well, around Christmas this year, right, I just met a guy who had his master's in France and then came to visit his parents to my hometown. That's where we met, and he just told me a few stories about his studies and said that well, I learned from him that it's not that expensive as I thought it would be, and it's not that hard to get in as I thought it would be. And also he like advertised it a lot and said how cool that would be, and then how great it is. But I didn't have really any time to think about it. Because the deadline for all the documents to be sent in was in like a month, and I had to take a language exam, and I had to prepare all the documents and write a motivation letter and create a resume and all that stuff. So if I had time, I probably would decide against it and then just wouldn't go anywhere and stay home where everything is familiar and nice and just comfortable. But since I didn't have any time, I decided that I would apply and think later, because if I don't apply like right now, I won't be able to apply at all. And so I applied, and I took my TOEFL and prepared all the documents and all that. And then I got accepted. And I found this program. So yes, I am studying here. I'm studying EdTech. It's educational technologies. So it's kinda like computer science for teachers, I guess. And again, if that wasn't for the program, I would not probably come, because it is essentially what I'm doing, like EdTech, right? I create materials, but I try to make them more technological, more user-friendly and all that, and I need them to be interactive, and that's why you people are all here, I guess, because that's why my materials are different. And so I thought that it would be cool to know more about that. And the most important thing, the coolest thing in this program, I guess, is that it's online, but it's not even online, it's mostly like autonomous. So we have 1 or 2 lectures a week, which are online in the evening. But other than that, all the work is autonomous. So we have this Moodle, LMS thing. We have the materials there, and we like watch videos, read articles, do stuff, and like do the assignments, and then we hand in those assignments. And I don't know what happens after that because we've just started. But yeah, so if that was a proper program, if I had to go to the university every day, sit in classes and do all that, I wouldn't probably do that because it takes a lot of time, which I don't have because obviously I have kind of like a full-time job. It's very difficult to say that it's a full-time job because the schedule is all weird. But I have a lot of work to do, and I have a lot of money to earn to be able to live in France. So I need all this free time, and this program allows me to do that and to have that. Yes, so if you have any questions about that, you can write me here and I'm gonna answer to that. If you don't, then I'm gonna answer to the questions that you've been sending me when I ask you in stories, like I don't know, 3 weeks ago. but yeah, speaking of the program and those 3 weeks, so we have 1 lecture or 2 lectures a week in the autonomous work, but 2 times a year there is this intensive week, which happens here in Nice, and people who are lucky enough to get their visas, they come, and the first intensive week like that was last month, and the end of last month. So from 9 a.m. till like 5 p.m. every day, from Monday to Friday, we went to the university, and we had some workshops and lectures and just lessons. And yes, and the next intensive week like that will be in April. And between that, we don't have any actual classes. Yeah, and another thing I learned from this intensive week is that it's very hard for me to go to classes and really like sit all day, sit straight, because like right now I have my leg on my chair, which I wouldn't be able to do at the university. So it's very weird, I have not been into a proper studying environment for quite a while, and I just forgot what it was like, and I just lost all the ability to study like that. Yeah, so that's also the great advantage of the program that I'm on. Yes, so, well, these are I see some of the questions, but I don't really know who you are. I don't think you are supposed to be here, so I think I'm not gonna answer to those. As for France and Nice, obviously people ask me how I like France and how I like Nice, and I do like it a lot, especially the fact that it's warm here. When I came in September, it was very hot. It was still hot like by the end of September, which is not something I'm used to, because I'm from a far eastern town where it's cold like most of the year. Like right now in my hometown, it's snowing very hard. The temperature is below 0, and everything looks very nice and Christmassy, but it's the beginning of November, right? And here in Nice, everything is still green, and most of the time I don't wear any coats or anything. I just wear my usual sneakers, the same I wore in summer, which is crazy for my hometown because in my hometown, again, you would have to wear a hat and a scarf and gloves and all that, and here it's very warm. It's very warm, so that's what I like the most. Also, everything looks very nice. Like the buildings, the architecture and everything, it's just nice. I can't say anything else about it, but when you are walking, you just feel nice. There is always something to watch, to look at, and everything is different, because again, in my hometown, everything is the same, like all the buildings look the same, but here almost every building is different. So even if you're walking on the same route, if you're taking the same route every day, you would still find something new to look at. You would find some details you have not seen before. And like the proof of that, if the other day, like yesterday, the day before yesterday, something like that, we had an orientation day. I have a sticker there. An orientation day for all the Master of Science program and the university programs. So there was a treasure hunt, just for fun, I don't know. So there is an old town here in Nice. It's very beautiful and it's all touristic and all that. And so we had groups of people, and we had maps, and we had some clues that we needed to solve. And then you solve a clue and you know what you are looking for. You need to run around the old town and find a thing, like a sculpture or a bas-relief. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, a mosaic or something like that. Take a picture, and then there are winners and losers and all that. And why I started telling you this story is because it was very hard to do, because the clues were very simple, so we knew what we were looking for, but we couldn't find it in many cases because there is just a lot of things. Like if you're looking for a statue, there are many of them. If you're looking for some details on the buildings, there are many details. And so we had a map, and there is a region on this map that you have to explore. And even though the region is small, it's still a region, so you have to walk through different streets. And we had to stop all the time and look at these details, because there are many details and none of them were what we were looking for, but it does not matter. We didn't really want to win. But what I'm saying is that everything is different and everything looks nice, and it's just nice to just walk and look around and see what's happening and what everything looks like. So that's what I like. And obviously there is the sea. And I live 10 minutes from the sea, and there is a long embankment, and if you Google Nice, the first picture that you'll see is probably the view of this embankment from up high. So this is the embankment that I live close to, but almost everything is close to this embankment, and so almost whenever that I have to go somewhere, I would go on this embankment. In many cases there is just no other route, but this embankment, like, you can see the sea. And again, I'm not used to seeing the sea because I don't live anywhere near the sea. In my hometown in Russia, there is also an embankment, which is the place for socializing, the main and the only place for socializing. Like, if you go out with friends, if you want to just have a stroll, you would go to the embankment. It's not even a question. You would just ask yourself where exactly on the embankment you want to meet. And so it's kind of the same here in Nice. If you go out with someone, if you go for a walk, you would go to the embankment. But here there is the sea next to the embankment, and it looks nice. It smells sometimes nice, but usually it doesn't smell at all. But you could hear the sea, which is also great. I like the sound of the waves crashing and all that. So that's also cool. So also people have been asking me about my adjustment process, especially considering the fact that I don't speak French. And well, it's challenging, but I'm managing. And actually it's not that bad, and again, it's not that bad as I thought it would be. And when I was back home, before I started all this process, I thought that it would be just one big stress on top of another big stress, and that I wouldn't know what to do, and it's also messy, But when you are inside of it, you just deal with things one at a time, and then, like, there is no going back. Like, it's if you can't, I don't know, if today you can't open a bank account, it's not like you're going to fly home the next day, right? So you just figure it out. And it teaches me that everything, like, I've learned this word here, great word, everything is figureable, like figure outable, right, in one word, which is a great expression. So yes, so you just figure it out. And people have been very nice to me, extremely nice, and I am very grateful to all the people who helped me, and all the people, like people who work in institutions like banks and stuff, and have to deal with me not speaking French, and not obviously, but it's not very easy for them to speak English if they can speak English at all. But we manage. They try, I try, and in the end, I have a bank account. And also just people, like people I live with, like I have flatmates, and they've been very nice. And now that I'm speaking English, they would probably hear me if they were walking by the door. Yeah, and like people that I meet somewhere, like at the university or anywhere, and just random people. Like I have a SIM card, a local French SIM card with a decent plan, which doesn't cost like a lot, because just a random guy on Instagram really helped me like 3 times in a row. If it wasn't for him, I would have to pay much more, like every month. But he just helped me, and I didn't ask him. It just happened that way, and I'm very grateful. So yes, I am managing. What else? The subjects, right? The program. So you asked me about the subjects and what we are studying and what we are doing. So as for the subjects, like this semester we have digital expertise, for example. Right now we are watching a lot of videos on I don't know, some stuff and doing quizzes about it. I'm not particularly sure why we are watching those quizzes, but maybe I'll know in the future. But it's the videos are short and the quizzes are not that difficult, so it's okay. The problem is that these videos are originally in French, but since the program is in English, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be able to understand anything. So there is an automatic voiceover in English, which sounds very weird because it's like gender neutral voice or something like that. It's very like, it sounds like a machine, and it's hard to listen to it. I mean, it's just very boring. But in many videos there is like a script of the video, so I just read the video and do the quizzes. Another thing about digital expertise course is that the teacher, who is great and a very nice guy, and he's very funny and all that, but he speaks with a very, very thick French accent. And honestly, I don't think that everyone should get rid of their accent. I really don't. I think accents are fine, and sometimes it's great and all that. But it's very hard to listen to him. I mean, I understand everything, but I have to concentrate on what he's saying, because if I don't, if I'm just doing something and he is speaking on the background, for me, he sounds like he's speaking French. It's the same thing as I would just walk on the street and people would be walking by and speaking French, and I wouldn't understand any of it. So it's the same for him unless I concentrate. And the weird thing is that I don't know why it works like that with the French accent and doesn't work like that with any other accent, because all the teachers, or maybe like 99% of the teachers, have accents, obviously, and most of them have very thick accents, but they are not French accents. Like yesterday I was listening to a lecture, and the teacher is probably Greek, I think. He has a very, very thick accent, like hello, I can help you, and like that. But it was very easy to listen to him. I didn't mind his accent at all. I didn't need to concentrate. I was doing my thing. I understood everything, and it was clear and then fine. And I was just, oh, okay, like who cares what accent you have? But with the French accent, it doesn't work like that for me. I don't know. I'm not sure. If you have an explanation, I would really like to hear that, because honestly, I don't know. So that was digital expertise. We also have Ontology, and Ontology is a way of systematizing data. Honestly, again, I don't know why we are having this subject, and to be honest, I think we have it because the people who created this program just it was easy for them to find a teacher to teach Ontology. Like my reasoning, I don't know. Again, I have no idea, but it looks like they were trying to fill up the schedule. And they thought, oh, I know this girl, she could teach Ontology, and Ontology has something to do with technologies, right? It has something to do with computer science, so yeah, good enough. I think their reasoning was like that. But again, maybe sometime in the future, I will understand that better. But the girl who teaches Ontology is very, very nice, and she doesn't have any accent at all. It's a great pleasure to listen to her, and she's very passionate about Ontology, even though it's very hard for me to imagine how you can be, but she is. And but you can still see that she's not a teacher, and that's also the problem with many of the courses, like like most of the courses, because Well, because it's very hard to teach teachers. And I know that I am a bad student because I'm a teacher. And I'm not that great of a teacher, I don't do everything right, but I know a lot about the things that are right. Like, even if I don't do things right, in many cases I know what the right way to do it. And obviously, it's much easier to notice other people's mistakes than my own. So when something is not exactly perfect, I notice it. And many students on this program are teachers, so it's the same for them. And during this intensive week, we talked a lot. And obviously, when you just meet someone like outside the classroom, the first thing you ask, like, how did you find yesterday's session, or how was this intensive week for you going? And most people say the same, because it's not enough to know the subject. It's also a good idea to know how to teach that subject, or any subject, or just know how to teach. And well, that's a problem. But honestly, I don't want to complain, because again, it allows me to be here, and it's very nice here, and I like it here. And the programs like that, they just don't exist. Like, we don't, again, we do most of our work autonomously, and this is very rare for a master's program or any kind of a institutional education, like, in an institution, in a higher education or something like that. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and if some of the teaching isn't perfect, I'm okay with that. I also like to complain about it, so I do complain about it, but I'm okay about it. So that was digital expertise, that was Ontology. We also have educational computing, but I'm not yet sure what it's gonna be like. I will find out a little bit later. We have some digital ethics or something like that, but again, I have not watched any of the lectures yet, so I don't know. And we have an interdisciplinary project, and I really liked the teacher there. He's amazing. He was really listening to what we were saying. He was really answering our questions and not just trying to, fill up the space as some teachers do. So that was great. So we'll have to create some kind of project. Again, I'm not particularly sure what it's going to be like, but we are supposed to pick a subject, like pick a topic, and then create some kind of a project around it. Ideally, that has to have something to do with our jobs, because probably everyone, if not everyone, then 99.9% of people on this program have jobs, full-time jobs, and have many years of experience, and many people are much older than the most common age for a master's program. They chose this program because it's online, the same as I did, because they don't have to give up their jobs. So people are professionals here, they have their jobs, and so they are supposed, like we are supposed to pick a topic that has something to do with our jobs, and I don't know, create something. So this interdisciplinary project is about problem solving. So for this semester, we'll have to have an outline of the project, and then pick a problem, and then next semester, I think, we'll have to come up with the ideas of how to solve this problem, some potential ideas. And we also have internships too, one the first year, one the second year. And again, since we're all people with jobs, if we don't want to change jobs, like I don't want to, we can have self-employed internships, so we can potentially, hopefully, probably work on something that we really need. Like, for example, hopefully, again, I I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that yet, but I could focus on my course for teaching through messengers, for example, because I have to pick something for an internship. So by the end of the internship, I have to create something to prove that I've been working on that for this period of time. And for the disciplinary project, I also have to pick something. So I thought that maybe I could work on teaching through messengers on one, like on an interdisciplinary project, for example, and focus on creating a course about teaching through messengers for my internship. So I could do some research on this autonomous learning, on micro learning or something like that, so that I would know more about how people learn when they don't have this traditional way of learning, and also do some research on creating courses, on their course structure, course design, and the most effective ways of teaching people something, but not in a lesson, but through an online course that people just take from their homes. And you know how courses work. But you also know that in many cases they don't work. So I could focus on making my course really work for you. So, but these are just ideas. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, and I'm not exactly sure what I'll be allowed to do because it's just too early to say. Yes, and I think this is it for this semester. I think I have one other class, but we haven't had any lectures of that yet. So again, since it's just 1 or 2 lectures a week, you can't have many subjects during just 1 week or 2 weeks. So we didn't have all the lectures yet, but I'll find out more. It's also fun, to be on the other side and use Miro, for example, as a student. Or yesterday, I'll show you in the stories one of these days, I don't know when I have time, but yesterday we used Mural, which is another online board like Miro, but it's Mural. And I have not exported it yet, and I'm not sure if I will, because honestly I don't have that much time. But the one thing that I've noticed is that you don't have to register to use Mural, unlike Miro. And once during the lecture, no, actually they sent us the link in advance, but obviously most of the people did not see that link to register on Miro. So during the lecture, when we had a task to do on Miro, we had to wait for everyone to register, then open the Miro and then do the tasks. On Mural, you don't have to register. You just open the Mural, you say pick use as a guest, and then you use as a guest. And it's very easy, and I'm sure for many students of ours that would also be very useful, especially with younger kids and who have all these problems and forget passwords and all that and need their parents to register for them. So maybe Mural is a good way, but I haven't used it that much, so I don't know about the functions, but you can check it out. I'll show you the screenshot of the board again one of these days sometime. I don't remember any other questions. Well, okay, people ask me if I'm gonna stay here after I finish my studies, and the master's program is 2 years, and honestly I'm not sure if I'm gonna stay here for 2 years. Let's start with that. Probably I will, but making money in rubles and spending them in euros is a challenge. So I'm gonna see how it all turns out. Yes, but so 2 years, then I have 1 year to find a job here in France if I want to stay, but I don't want to find a job because I have a job, because I am because I do what I love what I do. I don't want to change that. And honestly, I've been self-employed for too long. I wouldn't want to find a job in Russia, let alone in France or anywhere else. So unless I come up with some other, plan, my documents just won't allow me to stay here in France after that. And I don't know if I want to. First of all, because it's just been too soon to decide anything. Second of all, because I don't have any time to decide anything. I don't really, it's a big commitment, it's a big thing to think about, it's a big thing to work on, to come up with a plan and then implement this plan. And here in France, everything takes a lot of time. Especially if it's about documents, everything is very, very slow. People here are very slow. Maybe it's the warm thing, I don't know. But yes, life here is very slow. So in order for me to come up with a plan, I need a lot of time. Time that I don't have, and I don't think about it. I'm gonna think about it some other time, or maybe I won't. I don't know. Because again, I do like it here, but it's not like it was very bad for me at home. I also liked it at home. I missed my apartment a lot. I liked my apartment at home very, very much. And even though I am very grateful for this place that I've been very lucky to find, and it's great, and everyone is nice here and all that. And the landlord, who doesn't speak any English, is putting up with me, and he's really trying to make me feel welcomed and all that. And he makes me, he helps me understand all the stuff. He helped me with the documents and all that. So I am grateful to all this place, but I miss my apartment a lot. French boyfriend. Yeah, I'm gonna answer to that. And I miss the piano that I had to sell, and I have no space for a piano here, whatsoever. So there are things that I miss, which was also, by the way, yes, another question, if I miss home. And yes, there are a lot of things that I miss, but I'm doing okay. And so I'm not, it's not like this is the perfect place and I'm gonna stay here forever, whatever it takes. I'm not that kind of a person. I think that every place is good if you are good, you can make any place a good place for you to live. And my hometown, many people find it not very good place to live, but I didn't think so, and I still don't think so. And I used to live in US for a while, and then I used to live in China for a while, and every time I came back to Russia, and it was all good again, because, well, it's not about the place. And so here as well, this is very nice, but when it ends, I'm gonna find something else that is also nice. So again, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna stay here, if I'm gonna come back, or if I go to some other place. And again, I wasn't planning on coming here in the first place, so how can I make any plans? I don't know. And then yes, it's from French boyfriend, that would be probably an easiest plan, not a boyfriend but a husband. Yeah, because many people, when I say that I don't have, when I say that I don't want to find a job here, so probably I won't be able to stay here, they say that well, you'll just get married. And many people have told me that. People who know me and people who don't know me, like a doctor at the hospital, at the clinic in Russia, she told me that. It was the first time she saw me, but oh no, you'll get married and stay there. So I'm not saying that I'm really against the idea, but that's not the plan. That's not the best strategy, you know, just go and I'll just get married. So I don't know. And also I don't speak any French. And as for French, again, since I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not sure if I should learn French that like actively, you know, because right now I have an app on my phone, and obviously I listen to people, I pay attention to what they're saying, I analyze stuff, and I memorize some of the stuff, like naturally, it just happens. And it's very interesting, by the way. Yes, it's an experience, an experiment of mine, to see how much I can learn without learning anything, like without actively learning, by just being here. It's working better than I expected. Yeah, but to actively learn a language, it takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication, a lot of effort, and again, most importantly, it takes a lot of time that I just don't have. And so if I decide to learn French, it will mean that I'll have to give up on something else, because I am doing something all day long. So if I try to find the time, I'll have to stop doing something else. And honestly, I don't have anything I'm willing to give up. So yeah, so for now I'm just speaking English, and it's working okay, to be honest. At least here in Nice, because before I came here, people would tell me like many times that people in France don't like people speaking English. Even if they understand English, they wouldn't answer, because they think that, like, if you're in France, just speak French. What are you doing? Come on. But here I've managed to do all the things that I need to do in English. And so when I say that to people here, that that's what people have been telling me, they say that probably it's because it's Nice, because it's a very touristic place. So people here can speak English, and they are used to people not speaking any French, so they're okay with that. But if you go somewhere up north, which I haven't yet, you'll have more difficulties. So probably, maybe, I don't know, if I like visit some other cities, which I plan to do, but again, I don't have any time. But when I find the time and go somewhere, maybe I'll have some problems. Maybe I will learn more of the French. But unless I make a plan on staying there, I don't think it's gonna happen. Is there anything that impressed you there, both positively and negatively? Well, as a naturally negative person, I'm gonna start with the negative things, because they just popped up in my head. So the first negative thing is that everything is very slow. Again, as I told you, and documents, it takes a lot of time, and sometimes you have to mail the documents, you know, not email, but mail with an actual envelope and stuff, and that's just crazy. I have not done that yet, but at some point I will have to. And it takes a lot of time. Like, I don't have my medical insurance here, because they are reviewing my documents since like the middle of August. So since August they are reviewing, and they are reviewing it because they are accepting some of the documents. So there are some changes on my on this website. So they are doing something, but it takes them a very long time. And everything is like that here. But mostly I'm okay with that, because I knew it was going to happen, and I was prepared, and I'm not in a hurry. And if something happens, they would give you medical help. Obviously, you'll just have to pay. But then when you have your medical insurance, they will reimburse you for the stuff you've paid. So it's not like, I don't know, it's not that awful. And again, it's not something that bothers me a lot, but it surprises me that like bank, everything that has something to do with banks is much worse here. It really is. You can't just send money to people. You just can't. You know, like all of you are sending me money for the materials, right? And it takes like, you know, a second. But here you just can't do that. If you want to give somebody money, you either give them cash, which in Russia I just don't have. In Russia for last, I don't know, 2 years, I didn't have any cash. Or you can write a check, an actual check on a piece of paper, which is something out of this world. I know I've only seen that in movies. And I don't have a checkbook here. I don't know. You obviously you can get it, but I don't have it. I don't know what to do. Or you can make a transfer to the other person, but it will take 3 business days, I guess. So if you send the money like on Thursday, it will arrive on what, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, on Tuesday next week, which is crazy. And even when I don't remember the word for that. So if I go to the ATM and I put the money into the ATM to get it to my account, I forgot the word, I'm sorry. It takes a few days for them to arrive on my account. On the app on my phone, I see that like this amount of money is being processed. So the bank knows that there is some money, but I can't use it. So when I pay for the apartment, I have to deposit, yes, that's the word. I have to deposit money way in advance in order for my landlord to be able to like get this money from my account in time. So that's just something that I have to keep in mind all the time, like, you know, that everything takes time here. And positively, well, I don't know, I mostly pay attention to the weather, honestly. I'm so happy about the weather. it's I don't know. I'm from Russia, you know. Other than that, again, people are very nice, and I'm very grateful to all the people that I've met here. That's what I've said. Well, I don't know. I just, probably it's not the most impressive thing, but I can see the playground from my window right now. So I just looked there and I remembered that I hear people, like kids playing on this playground, and there are moms sitting there on the playground as well. And I never hear moms. So like my window is right next to the playground. So I hear everything that is happening there. And I hear the kids playing and yelling and you know. But I never hear moms saying like, don't go there, stop there, what are you doing, come here, or anything like that. They just don't say anything. Like kids are doing what they're doing, and moms are just there to watch them silently, you know. So there, I have not heard any yelling or anything like that. And in Russia, it's very hard for me to to open the windows when it's the time for parents to teach their children how to ride a bike, because it's just awful, honestly. There are so many parents who just yell at their kids for the stuff that kids have no control over. Like, you know, they can't ride a bike, it's not their fault. But parents get frustrated, and so they start yelling, and it's very hard for me to hear. It doesn't happen here. At least for this, 2 months, I have not heard a single grown-up yelling at a single kid. And in my hometown, I would hear a lot of that. And in my hometown, I have upstairs neighbors who have 2 little kids, and sometimes they're yelling at them for many different reasons, and I'm just used to hearing that, and so when I'm not hearing that here, it surprises me. So I don't know, probably it's not something that you meant when you were asking the question, but that's what came to my mind. And obviously more people speak English here. Again, I'm from a very little town, very small town. There are not that many people who can speak, honestly. There are, like, just go out with a person and just talk to him in English for the whole evening. That's just something out of this world for like, I don't know, probably 98% of the population of my town. And here, obviously it's not the same for everyone, and there are many people who don't speak any English, but I've been managing to find people to go for a walk with, and they speak English. They just and they speak. And also there are many people here who have been doing internships or any kind of programs, exchange programs in many places. And again, maybe for you out there who live somewhere in central Russia, it's different. But in my hometown, which is very, very far away from Moscow, it's in 6-hour time difference. It's not the case. In my hometown, to go somewhere, it's a big deal. And that's why I thought that going to France would be very, very hard. Because I just have not met any people who've done that. But here, probably everyone I talk to, again, to be fair, I talk to people who can speak English. So that's part of the reason they went somewhere is because they can speak English. So obviously, if I talk to people who don't speak English, probably their experience is very different. But anyway, people who I've been talking to, they've all done probably a few exchange programs somewhere, and not only in Europe. Like the other day I talked to a guy who did an exchange program in Thailand, and France, Thailand, that's just very far away. And it's just normal for people. It's not something they brag about or anything. It's not even something they are proud of, because it's just something they do. It's just something that people do, and it hasn't been my experience, and it hasn't been the experience of the people I've been growing up with, the people I've known before I came here. So that was surprising, and honestly that is impressive. To me, that is impressive. So when you're asking what I'm impressed by, I am impressed by people. I'm sorry. There's I'm gonna turn on the light. Sorry about that. My lamp that died for some weird reason, even though it's not that, but okay. So I thought it would fall, but it's just turned off. Okay. So I guess that's the sign that we need to just finish it up. So I'm just gonna say a few words about the course, because I've promised. So the course on teaching through messengers is gonna start on the 22nd of November. Yes, and it's gonna last for 4 weeks, so 1 month. There won't be that many lessons, but we will. I want you to feel as a student as well. So you will work on the tasks that I will create for you. You will work on the tasks that you will create for each other. And so that you can work on different kinds of tasks. Because I do my tasks in PDF, obviously, you know me. But there are many other ways of creating tasks for your WhatsApp students. And we're going to talk about them. And you are going to create different kinds of tasks, and you're going to exchange those tasks, and you're going to complete these tasks. Because as a student, you might find some of these tasks to be more convenient. You just will like them better. So I want you to experience all this as well. And you are gonna teach students, like real life students, So that's why it takes 4 weeks. I'm gonna make a post about that in a few days. So probably, oh my god, sorry. So the day after tomorrow, I guess, I'll have a new post for you with the timetable, with all the descriptions of the lessons and all that. But there is a chat already there. You can join. It's 3,000 rubles. And then that's all. And we're gonna start in a week and a half. And yes, thank you for the good luck and stuff. And I'm tired of this lamp, so I'm gonna finish up. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for all of you watching later. And if you have any questions, you can ask me here in the comments, and I'm gonna answer again here in the comments or in the stories. And one of these days, when I find the time, I will show you this mural board, and I'll show you some of the clips from this intensive week and all our workshops. And yes, and that's all, I guess. And again, if you ask me questions, then like if I have enough questions, I'll go live again and we are gonna talk about something else too. So yes, that's all, I guess. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, day, night, or whatever. Thank you, and bye.